Alright, so I haven't even watched all of this video here, but I'm still gonna do a commentary on it. I needed 5 seconds to see what it was. This is the official reveal of Hitbox's new official stick. They are calling it the Cross-Up. And it is basically them merging a traditional arcade stick with a Hitbox controller, as you can see. So on top of the regular stick and the classic 8 buttons, you have the Hitbox buttons above and below the normal arcade stick buttons. So you might go like, what the hell, why would you ever want to use that? Well, it's actually incredibly powerful because all of these are registering at once. So on the stick, which you're holding with your left hand, you have movement, but you also have movement with all of those black buttons with white around them. The Oreos. The Oreos are also movement. So as you can see here, he's combining all of this to get incredibly fluid and fast inputs. This is basically stronger than having 2 arcade sticks, you know, with the movement. So this is just powerful on an unbelievable scale. Probably very awkward to play with at first, but the potential is basically unlimited, I would say. So this has awoken a debate on Twitter, again on how legitimate the normal Hitbox is, but a lot of people are already immediately condemning this stick, saying that it's just completely broken, we don't want it in tournaments, make sure it's banned. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Tekken officials have already started saying this is going to be banned in Tekken tournaments. Maybe someone in the chat knows more, but yeah, this is quite controversial. And there was also a little Twitter war, not only on the Cross-Up here, but even on the normal Hitbox itself. And it started with Mr. Rixta, American Akuma player, probably needs no introduction. There was actually a war here between American Akuma and then our own Super Akuma, Le Croissant Baguette, the French Akuma, Super Akuma. Both amazing players. But Rixta, this is actually very interesting, a remark he makes on the Hitbox, but Super Akuma comes to the defense of the Hitbox. Super Akuma, obviously being a Hitbox player, probably doesn't want to hear that you're playing with a cheat device. So that's a little bit what people are gonna say here. I'm not saying the Hitbox is a cheat device, but what I'm saying is that it's incredibly powerful. It's more powerful than a pad, it's more powerful than an arcade stick. When I interviewed Super Akuma, he agreed. And as you will see here in his comments, what he says is that the Hitbox should be allowed because we're doing everything manually. And yes, it is a much stronger device, but we're doing it manually. There's no macro. You can't ban me considering it's your fault for using an old controller. Why do you use a stick or a pad when you can use a Hitbox? Is basically what he's saying. So very interesting here, a remark Rixta makes on the arcade stick. I know many of you don't know this, but for example, people like to say scrub Mishimas play on player 2 because player 2 is the best. It's the best for Mishimas. You wave dash so fast, electrics are easier. A lot of people don't understand that Mishimas are much stronger on player 1. Much stronger. You have access to more precise inputs on player 1 due to using the palm of your hand rather than the thumb and the fingers. And on player 1, if you play Mishima versus Mishima, you want to be able to step left. You've probably heard me say this a million times. We sidewalk left versus Mishimas. And if a player 1 Kazuya does a forward 4 on a player 2 Kazuya, that's +4 to +5. You can't sidestep into the foreground, so you can't step left. Because on a stick, if someone forces crouch on you, you cannot sidestep into the foreground. So the Mishima matchup is completely busted, actually, for the player 1 Mishima. He has it much easier. So it's stuff like that that a lot of people forget when they discuss like player 1, player 2 Mishima. We seem to get lost in all of it. Oh, you wave dash faster on player 2. Yeah, what, 10% faster? And what's that gonna help you with? Yeah, I don't know. Priorities, fellas, priorities. But, Rixta says here, you can sidestep into the foreground after crouching with a hitbox. You can't do that with an arcade stick. You actually cannot do it with any other controller as far as I know because of how the hitbox COCD handles pressing both up and down at the same time. So what he's referencing here is the SOCD. It's basically a little... Is it the circuit card? I don't know what it's called in English. But so normally in Tekken, you know, an arcade stick, you can't press it up and down at the same time. Same for a D-pad. Same for an analog stick. You probably know why. You can't press it up and down at the same time. If you do that in Tekken, it turns into a neutral. But what the hitbox does is that up and down, it transforms it. The SOCD card in the hitbox transforms that into a different input, which is what makes this possible. I don't want to get into the technical details here, because considering I'm a retard when it comes to all of this. But interestingly, Super Akuma posted a reply video where he was like, look, I can do it on a pad, but it doesn't seem as reliable at all on a pad. So you cannot do it on an arcade stick. It's very easy to do on a hitbox, but on a pad, it doesn't seem very easy, and to be honest, it seems super awkward because you have to leave your attack buttons and put your right hand onto one of the analog sticks suddenly. Who's going to react to a forward crouch move their whole hand and try and do that? So I really don't see the point Super Akuma is trying to make here. He's trying to say that, look, at least it works on a pad, but no one's gonna do that. But on the hitbox, it's very reliable and easy. So the hitbox actually has access to things that you simply can't do on other controllers. And that's not to mention, you know, the super easy just frames or forward while running. It's just a very, very powerful controller. And I think even Speed Kicks joined the debate. I'm not gonna find the tweet, but he saw Rixta's tweet and he said something along the lines of hitbox basically is bullshit. So the hitbox has been out for what? Almost 10 years, and it's still very controversial. There's still a lot of debate about it. But everyone seems to be agreeing on the new hitbox cross-up being complete fucking bullshit. So I'm guessing this is gonna be even easier electrics. Even easier than on the hitbox, I don't know, but the thing you have to say about hitbox and probably the cross-up controller here is that they are very awkward to use for about 2 months, and then they will be like nothing else, just super powerful. But it's kind of the same going from pad to arcade stick. It's super awkward at first, but when you do get into it, it's a lot of fun playing on stick. I just love it. I like the arcade experience. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. And very interesting is going to be... Oh shit, we have even Nee here saying, no! That's broken! I don't know if Nee sounds like that. Sorry, Nee. But yeah, that's broken, basically. Yeah. So everyone has their own opinions. I'm probably gonna say, yeah, that looks busted as all hell, but we'll see what tournament organizers say, because in the end, their opinion matters the most.